Hey everybody, this is Justin with PumpPal, and today we're going to make another video about the biggest lies about getting lean. And if you enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe to my channel, as this helps my channel grow and more people can see the content that I make. Trying to upgrade my setup a little bit here, trying to decide what I'm going to put in the background. I just got a new mic. Hopefully it sounds better. Let me know in the comments if it does. Otherwise, let's jump into what we're going to discuss today. Um, so the biggest lie about getting lean is that you have to be perfect from the start. That's it. Case closed. We can move on. No, but for real, I mean, it's the best analogy I could say on this is gonna be that. I mean, let's assume you're gonna start running, right? And you just up Sunday, you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna run 15 miles a day from this point forward. Sounds ridiculous, right? Most people wouldn't even think they could do that in the first place, right? Even if you attempted it, let's say you're dead, you know, in your head you're dedicated, you're going to do this. Monday morning comes or whenever you're going to run, and essentially what's going to happen is you're going to run about a half a mile if you're lucky, and you're going to be dead tired. Realize that 15 miles is really far, and you have a lot of running to do yet, and you're gonna go home sore as hell. Maybe next Tuesday, you're gonna wake up and be like, I can still do this, but then you're gonna realize your legs are rubber. Um, by the time those legs heal, it's probably gonna be Friday, and by then all motivation is gone. And it's just like that with your diet, right? So you're going from no discipline on your diet to trying to do a perfect diet. In which case, maybe there's less punishment for, like, as I mean, as noticeable punishment as running, trying to run 15 miles. Um, so you're probably gonna make it on Wednesday, or sorry, not Wednesday, but Monday. You're gonna make the run happen, right? And you're then going to the run happen. On Monday, you're going to you have a good diet, perfect diet. Tuesday, you probably have a perfect diet. Wednesday, probably have a perfect diet, but you never learn to cook, right? So now you're out of food that you made Sunday. So you get done with work, you go to the gym, which you should be. Hopefully, you are not skipping it by that point. Then you go ahead and because you had no food, you decide to get some McDonald's. You beat yourself up because you got McDonald's, and then um, get lazy, depressed, and you probably just you know decide to watch a movie instead of cooking your food again. So Thursday morning comes, you stop at the gas station, you grab yourself, the breakfast sandwich, maybe some coffee there, and you then continue that. And maybe you pick it up on Friday, but like you can see the failure coming, right? Because you never really you got the discipline to do it, right? Yeah, I mean it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet, right? A lot of people see it as like I just got to do this for 6 months. I can be lean when you're done. No, really. I mean you're gonna have to just get used to um the lifestyle of doing this. Just like the gym's a lifestyle. A lot of people that show up to the gym don't want to go to the gym sometimes. But you know what they do? It's habit. It's just like taking a shower or brushing your teeth. It's just something you do. You know you got to do it. You show up, you try your best, and you go home. Some days you're really fired up. I don't know. Some days I get in there, I'm not feeling too down. I get the music on, suddenly it's blasting. Get a couple sets in, and I'm all fired up, right? Because I got a new record or something like that. Um, it's just discipline and lifestyle, and there's no different from your diet. I'm still working on my diet, um, but my diet is over the years has been shit tons better. I get a lot of good stuff in there. So what can you do? I guess I did make a whole video on like the food aspect of it. I'll probably put a link in the description on that last video I made. And but the general concept is like I mean, first off, you gotta learn to cook. You gotta learn to cook. And generally, what I tell people to do is you just you find the food you like, or even try different recipes. And then whatever the recipe is online that you find, you simply try to make it healthier. Like so. Okay, so like let's say they're using like a a lean ground beef, or sorry, they ask for ground beef, we'll use a leaner version of the ground beef. Instead of the 80/20, go 93/7. If they don't have any veggies in it, either add veggies that would go well with whatever you're making, or put, have a bowl of veggies. Like what I like to do is, like, if I have like a cheeseburger or something like that, like a lean beef cheeseburger, I'll have, a bowl of cauliflower cheese in it because it tastes good, right? Um, just find a way to get your fruits and veggies in there, right? That's the general idea behind it, and it's portion control. So even though you're still eating the foods you like, you modified it and you up the protein. Try to add some healthy veggies in there somewhere. Um, but it's still portion control. You're gonna have, you got to figure out your calories, um, and then you simply, eat the calories for the day. Like I said, I have a whole video on that I already went through. Link in the description. But that's the idea behind it, and you can't beat yourself up. Like an example would be today. I did have, I went and had Culver's. You probably don't know. Maybe if you're not from Wisconsin, you probably don't know what Culver's is. Super good fast food restaurant here in Wisconsin. But today was a busy day. I've been making. I have my app PumpPal. That's what this channel's about. And I also have a business where I develop my apps. So I was making videos all day, and then I think usually my schedule would be like, 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock I'm having breakfast. Usually up by 6:30. 8 o'clock I'm having breakfast. My first snack will be at like 10 o'clock. Noon will be my solid meal. Like I said, whatever you made for the week and portioned up already for a certain amount of calories. 2 o'clock will be another snack. And then after 2 o'clock, generally I'm in the gym by 4. I get back from the gym about 6:30. Then I would have my dinner, and then some type of snack would be at like 8 o'clock, right? But today, it's a busy day, so I kind of like got carried away with my work. I did have my normal breakfast at 10 o'clock, so I didn't have an 8 o'clock snack, and then I had my normal lunch at lunchtime. I didn't have a snack at 2 o'clock because I was busy with work. So I was like, I didn't eat as much. I went to the gym. So today I just, cheated. I went to Culver's uh after my workout, and I simply, had a good meal, right? And like I knew I had a bunch of calories I missed already. It was a good opportunity to cheat, right? You got to look at it that way. And then sometimes life happens. You're not gonna go through life. You're not gonna have a beer with your buddies. You're not gonna go through life and never have a pizza. You just got to try to make it less, have it happen less and less and less if you can. And depending what your goal is, how lean you want to be. I mean, you got to be honest with yourself, right? If you want to be, like the sub 15s, 10% body fat, you're gonna have to be more dedicated, and have less of those times where you have snacks. Ask yourself if that's what you want. If it is, you know what you have to do. Um, like I said, I'll have the video description in there of what you can do to, try to improve your diet. But the general rule of thumb is you got to learn to cook. Find the type of recipes you like. Make those recipes. Portion control. How much you eat based off your calories. Try to get the protein higher. Try to add veggies in. My general day would look like something like this, right? Um, like I said, get up 6:30. I usually get some, coffee in me, read the news, take a shower. By the time the end of that, I then would eat my breakfast, which would be like a bowl of oatmeal, um, measured bowl of oatmeal, by the way. Don't just like pour it in there. It's about 150 calories of oatmeal with mixed berries in it, and I mix that all up. I'll have 3 eggs in a glass of milk, measured. I like at this point I've been doing it the same way so much. I'm like I used to take an actual measuring cup, measure out 1 cup of milk, and then dump it in my glass, right? And then I can, after a while, you can kind of just see, eye it up. I'm like, this is about a cup. And I don't beat myself up. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Who cares, right? And just pour it in there where you see it, usually about this much in your glass. And I know how much, that's about a cup, you know. And the same thing with, so then I'll have my, that's my breakfast, right? And then my 10 o'clock snack will be a whey protein shake, which is measured because they have a scooper in there. I have my whey protein shake. I'll have an orange. It's usually always an orange because I live in Wisconsin, so we don't get very much sun, especially this time of year. So it would be my orange. I have for vitamin D3. I also take a supplement for that, but I'll probably make a whole video, a different video for supplements. Um, and then my lunch, let's say I made chicken Alfredo for 3 days of chicken Alfredo, right? Which I like. It's generally pretty good for you. I had I modified that one to have the whole grain noodles. The chicken Alfredo sauce, I just use a normal chicken Alfredo sauce. Um, and then I have chicken, right? So I mean, in compare and with broccoli, and I use 2 big bags of broccoli. I added into it. So there's some type of veggie inside there, and then uh, a glass of milk, right? And then that's usually about 500 calories, about 30, 40 grams of protein. And then my 2 o'clock snack will be like a handful of mixed nuts, and then I'll usually have some type of fruit. I mix that one up all the time. Would be grapes, watermelon, whatever I want to have, whatever fruit I want to eat on for the next couple of days, right? And that's what I'll have. Gym time. The next time at the gym, get back home, have another serving of chicken Alfredo or whatever I cooked, with another glass of milk, measured, so you know about how many calories it is. And then a couple hours later, I'll have, I have these Yasso ice creams I like, or I make this yogurt chocolate mix concoction that has a lot of protein in it. Sometimes I'll have smart food popcorn. Sometimes it depends, right? It depends, on the day. And I still go out and have some beers with my friends sometimes. I'm cutting that back because I'm trying to get down to 225 right now. But that's generally how you got to look at it. And you don't have to eat just every 2 hours like me. It's a matter of counting your calories and then trying to improve on your meals and diet, right? But I think you get the concept on that one. You're not going for perfection, right? You're going for consistency. Consistently doing things that are better over time will make you get leaner. Training, right? What type of training would you have to do for getting lean? Any training. Train. Go to the gym. Do push-ups. Do pull-ups. The main thing that's going to make you lean is your diet. I mean that's it, diet and consistently in your calories, keeping protein high. I personally go to the gym almost 12 hours a week. It's almost 2 hours. Monday I do 2 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. I don't go to the gym on Sunday. And that's a split workout. Um, Probably way more than most people need to do, but I like to do it, so I do that. There's people that are leaner than me that are in the gym. They're in there for 30 minutes, right? Good enough for them. That's fine. You don't have to do anything crazy. Like I said, it mainly comes down to diet, eating less. I personally think some of the guys that are super lean at 140 pounds, I think it looks weird, but you do you, man. Personal preference, right? As long as you get into the gym, hitting every muscle group, you're gonna be good. At least 2 times a day. It'd be a whole nother video if I'm gonna talk about a training regimen. Maybe I'll make another video on that. But personally, you don't need to be going that long. Um, it's gonna be good. So I think I about covered everything I want to cover, right? Because the moral of the story is on this one, consistency wins, right? You're consistently eating below your calories. If you want to, if you want to get lean, you're going to consistently eat below your calories. You're going to try your hardest to make it as healthy as possible. You have to realize life happens. Sometimes you're going to have some drinks, and then I guess I probably go more depth on that one too. Like sometimes what I'll do is uh, uh, let's say I go out and I'll have more calories than usual. I'll try to keep a tally in that in my head, right? And then generally, like I'm like, okay, so I'm about 600 calories over maintenance. Pretty sure I went 600 calories over maintenance. Don't judge me. Then the next day, I might skip that snack, right? So instead of eating at 8 my breakfast, I will then go until 10 o'clock and have my breakfast and my lunch. And then I'll simply do that for 4 days. And that makes up for that 600 calories. So that's another strategy you can do if you had a fun night, right? You went out with your buddies, you had some beers, you laughed. It's life. You're going to have that. Now, you don't want to do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Bad, 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 bad. Say no sometimes. If your goal is to get lean and be healthier, you definitely shouldn't be drinking beers every day. You shouldn't be a daily drinker. In general, I don't believe, but you do you. And if you do that, I know some people that do that are pretty lean. And what they would do is like I know a bartender. What he does is like he doesn't have anything else besides meat. His carb is the alcohol he drinks. So you figure if you take all the carbs out of your meals that day, I mean, you could technically have quite a few beers, right? I mean, you have breakfast, take up that oatmeal that's 150, and the berries. I think was it 1 cup, 170 calories. Take that out. We're at 220. Instead of the orange, take that out. Now what are we at? 290. Instead of the noodles, you just have the chicken Alfredo mix. We're at 300 something, and then you could have quite a few beers with that, right? And that's his strategy, and that works for him. You just gotta find your strategy, and you have to stick with it. He likes drinking beers. He's a bartender. He's got to drink beers pretty much, and then that's what he does. He just eats the meat source, his carbs the beer, and that works for him. And he's a pretty lean dude, leaner than me. Um, so you just got to figure it out, and then what works for you is what works for you. But definitely don't look at it as like you're gonna jump into it, be perfect from the start. Um, you got to live life. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. And I think that about wraps it up. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to my channel. We'll be talking more on these kind of subjects later on. And you might learn something, you might not. Take it as you will. Nobody's perfect. And you all have a good day.